Hey guys, you joined me in my bedroom for my latest install, an original Encon Crusader. These ones were sold in the mid-80s, and I think they were produced by the same company that made the Crompton Greaves fans. So probably Crompton Greaves, I'm not quite sure on that. All I know is that it's rare, and I've wanted one ever since I saw it at the Fanimation Fan Museum, both in person and on video. So, I'll get this started and talk a little more about it as we do. So as you understand by the name, this is another version of the Crusader fans that Encon has had over the years. This is the fourth one I have now. One of them is a Minuet knockoff. One used to be a 6-blade fan, but I never got the full 6 blades with it. I only had 3. I picked that up in the free pile at my restore. That one's been in my workshop ever since I moved to this house. And then I have the 42-inch one, which I recently filmed. And now I have this one. I think it'd be pretty cool to have all 4 of them together at some point on the display. I could totally make that happen. That would be pretty fun. I bet you guys would like to see that too. So low speed is pretty fast on this fan, I will give it that. But the whole fan in general is really fast. So much so that I think this suffers from airlock in here, so I don't know how long I can keep it in here, unfortunately. This was kind of a spur of the moment after my Encon Corinthian blew up. I made a short joke video about that, but I guess I didn't upload it yet, so I'll try to upload it before this video. And, oh yeah, if you guys are wondering, I'm not getting rid of the Corinthian just because the speeds don't work anymore. It's probably just a capacitor problem, or maybe a switch. Or probably the reverse switch, because now that I think about it, WeFire told me that they had infamously crappy reverse switches, so that could have been what caused the issue. Regardless, we'll see what happens to it. But like I said, I'm not getting rid of it or destroying it or anything like that. Not anytime soon, anyway. This fan is pretty simple to hang. What's nice is most fans like this, these bigger 52-inch spinners, typically had a hook and socket, or that's not the word, had different mounting styles like the Hunter Original or something like that. But this one is a normal ball and socket, which is nice. Go to medium. Yeah, this is definitely not your typical Encon, because this one moves a serious amount of air and it seems to be very well made. But it is like an Encon where it does make a lot of noise. If you haven't heard it yet, you'll hear it on the higher speeds. The bearings on this fan are destroyed. But that's kind of the consequence of buying a new in-box fan that sat in its box for over 40 years. Now, I'm not sure if there's a way to date these fans or not. The logo seemed pretty generic and didn't have any dates or numbers on it that would suggest such a thing. I could be wrong, but I'm willing to bet this thing is probably from mid to late 80s. And I don't have the box on me right now. Unfortunately, that's out in my garage. But yeah, I guess you could say I went from one Encon to another, and in this case, it was an upgrade. Save for the light kit. That was really nice to have. But I got my floor lamp, I'm good. Oh, that's a good breeze on medium. Like I said, I think this poor fan suffers from airlock in here. The blades on this fan are slightly curved upwards, too. Oh yeah, you can see it great from that angle. So, I don't know if that does a better job of spreading the air outward or not, and I'm willing to bet it does, because there's nowhere for that air to go in here. So, typically I try to put small, 42-inch or smaller, or fans that give a better direct breeze. As much as I would love to have a Delta in here or something, this tiny room is just not good for 52-inch fans. It's not a problem with them fitting, of course, just the airlock. I'm rambling again. Let's go to high. Yeah, this thing is fast on high. Definitely Casablanca speed. And honestly, I would argue that it's actually faster than all my big Casas. In this case, I think it's just the Panamas, Deltas, and Stealths. And I don't think the Stealth is just fast as the Panama. Honestly, this is not too far off from my actual Crompton Greaves I have, which is the 42-inch one, or I guess 40-inch, because its size is measured in millimeters, and I'm American, so I think it's 1,050 millimeters, which I think works out to be like 40-something inches. I did the math at one point. I remember seeing how close it was to 42-inch, but I don't think it quite was. Bearings go from the scraping to almost a rattle, which is kind of weird. I haven't had a fan that did that since I had that cheap Home Depot fan, the Montgomery thing. I believe I still have that fan. I'm just not sure where. I remember buying that thinking it was cool to have a top-mounted exposed motor spinner fan again, but that thing, whew, that was worse than some of the cheap fans like the Lagunas and the Georgians in terms of air movement. It's a shame because it's a really good-looking fan, in my opinion. Yeah, if not for the bearing noise, this would be staying here for the winter, but unfortunately it will be coming down in the near future. Spin down. Yeah, like I said, I've never seen these before until I started collecting, and I haven't seen too many videos on these either. I know one guy, oh golly, I can't remember what his channel name was, but it might be Vintage Fans or something like that. He had a white prototype model, which I thought looked cool. And then, of course, Spiffy Newman had a few videos of these. I think he had a lot of the 42-inch ones. I don't remember finding a 52-inch one video, but I'm sure he has something like that. And then there was someone else who had a video on these, but I can't remember. But that's pretty much my only experience with this thing. I got to see one of the 42-inch ones in the museum, and I was amazed at how much air it moved. So I've had this fan running, and obviously I've had some zoom spout in those bearings over the past few days to help it run better. And I'll be honest, the bearings are doing a lot better than when I first got them, but they definitely should be replaced. Yeah, so spin down's not going to be as long as some of my other fans. In fact, it looks like it's about to stop. Nice quick spin down for once. And 0 to high. Oh. It's nice to do this from the comfort of my bed. Not quite as fast on acceleration like Delta or something, because the blades on this thing are pretty hefty, and the motor itself has a lot of inertia because that is a chunky motor. But once it gets up to speed, oh boy, this thing, whew, I wish I could put it in my living room or something. But yeah, I'll be moving this to the display in the near future, so hopefully the air movement will be better, and I'm willing to bet it will be. But anyway, there you have it, the 52-inch Encon Crusader. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.